Yes, today is May 30th of 2012. This is Lucky Smith reporting for Star River News Magazine, and I'm here with
Sharonne Lee.
Sharonne Lee. And Sharonne Lee, I understand that you're currently homeschooling your son at this time.
Yes.
And what's the reason for pulling your son out of the public school district to homeschooling him? Because he started at what, the age of 14, correct?
Right. I had put him in one of the two best high schools in Pomona Unified School District, and hoping that he'll have a fresh start because he does have some behavior problems. And it was an exciting fit. This school was geared towards college, and he wanted to go to college. So we put him in this high school. He was the only black freshman in his class.
Out of how many students?
I would say out of maybe 100, 150.
Out of 150, and primarily the race at Pomona School District is what race?
It is Hispanic.
It's Hispanic, okay. And what type of problems did your son incur after that, like during that time?
He encountered racial slurs. They used to call him gay. They pick on him because he's short and skinny. And he, what little friends that he would make, they used them. One guy threatened him with a knife to make him steal for him. So my son was caught stealing video games next door to the school, and he almost went to jail behind it.
And as a parent, what recourses did you make with the school district to try to solve this problem before taking your son out of Pomona?
I talked to the principal. I wrote letters to the teachers, and they talked to me, but the only thing they could say is, well, they'll look into it. It was nothing, definitive. I wrote letters to the pupil resources. I wrote letters to the superintendent, and I didn't really get much of a response.
And do you feel that this happened because your son is African American?
Yes, I do.
And do you feel that the school, do you think your reaction would have been different had you been Hispanic? Or
yes.
What nationalities was the teachers and the principal that you contacted?
The principal was Latina.
Okay.
The few teachers that I met, he had one white teacher, his math teacher, which was one of the few positive teachers that he did have. And his biology teacher was also white, and he and my son did not get along.
And when people say that racial tension is a myth because now our president is African American, how do you feel towards that when you're experiencing this firsthand?
It's odd because when I was growing up, I've never experienced any kind of racial slurs or racial tension or anything whatsoever. And I went to various different schools. I went to all Hispanic schools, I went to all black schools, and I went to a mixture. My high school was a mixture of black and Hispanic.
But you were never at a school where you were the only African American? No,
and as an adult working, I normally worked in predominantly white companies. So I never felt it. I was always accepted.
For being African American?
Yes.
How did you do that?
And how do you feel? How do you feel now that you're doing that?
It's heart-wrenching actually, because my son had to experience and something part of me doesn't understand, because it's like, people, you need to get over it. But but as a mother, I went into protection mode, and so when everything happened with the situation with the knife, the stealing, and talking to the teachers, and nothing was going to happen, I made a decision to immediately snatch my son out of the school district, because if he would have stayed there, it just would have got worse.
And what are you going to do at this point now?
Well, I found another charter school which is also not associated with Pomona Unified School District. And I like their curriculum. It's somewhat like homeschooling, but it's more contact, where he's assigned to go to school a couple of days out of the week so he can get that one-on-one time with the teacher. So if he has any questions, he can ask directly, get direct help. and then he can come home and does his work and do his schoolwork, and he will be around other kids who's probably going through the same thing he is, and he can make some kind of camaraderie. Because when he was in homeschool, he did meet other students,
Yeah.
and they were of different nationalities, and
he
he
got along.
had great friends.
Okay. All right. Well, if you don't mind, email us and let us know what what happens next. And I would love to follow up on this. This is Lucky Smith reporting for Star River News Magazine. Thank you.